Hey, I'm Mark Thompson, narrative director on Far Cry 4.
So, Mark, what has next-gen technology opened up for you game development-wise when making Far Cry 4?
So what we're bringing to Far Cry 4 as opposed to Far Cry 3 is really the co-op experience and bringing co-op into the open world. On Far Cry 3, co-op was kind of a separate experience. It was linear maps, a different story, almost a different game, in fact. So this time around, we really focused on bringing the co-op experience to the open world. So allowing you to invite a buddy. It's basically like going back in time to when you would invite a buddy around to sit on your sofa because you had a game that was so awesome that you just wanted to share it. And that's that kind of, those kind of the anecdotes, the personal stories that you tell as you play in Far Cry's open world. You want to share that with someone, right? So we brought the idea of what if you could just bring a friend and you could goof around together in the open world and kind of share those stories with each other.
So you can still play the narrative with a friend. It's drop in, drop out.
The open world is drop in, drop out, but we disable the story missions, so just specifically the story missions, because we wanted to we know from Far Cry 3 that we know how to build a strong kind of single-player experience, and we didn't want to compromise that by injecting an extra player into all of the missions and kind of changing that gameplay structure. We wanted really to secure that for single player, and then we quickly experimented with the open world and found that it was very, very easy to kind of fall into outposts and radio towers. We didn't really have to change much of the structure of the game, so we didn't sacrifice anything when we added that second player to the open world.
And going to about the things you've added into this game, I noticed you have an auto drive feature, and there's also kind of auto crafting, if you will, when you pick up herbs and leaves.
Yeah, so auto drive is really it's a secondary supporting feature because now we added the ability to shoot from moving vehicles. So in Far Cry 3, our vehicles were just for travel. It was like we turned off a lot of the primary gameplay systems when you got into a vehicle. So now you can, if you have a handgun, you can shoot as you drive. So auto drive was kind of, it was because people crashed a lot, right? So you drive along and you want to start shooting, and then you have to kind of split the two hemispheres of your brain and ask one to focus on driving and ask one to focus on shooting, and invariably that ends up in a tumble down a cliff or crashing into a tree. So auto drive was just kind of born of that. But if you want to, you can just set a waypoint and kind of click auto drive and just watch the world kind of wash over you.
You've also introduced verticality in this game with those little, I guess I call them buzzards. Talk about how those were implemented into the Far Cry 4 playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, so Far Cry 3 was based on a series of tropical islands, right? Which are kind of flat, a lot of ocean. So when we made the shift from islands to the Himalayas, suddenly we were surrounded by mountains, right? So that instead of that being a limitation, we decided to make it an opportunity. So we embraced the verticality, like the buzzer is one example. So it's a small single-person pilotable, almost a gyrocopter. It lets you fly around. It's cool to fly over outposts. You can use it to recon, or you can, drive and shoot. That new feature still works in the buzzer, so you can fly over an outpost and rain down fire with a grenade launcher if you've saved up enough and you've unlocked the weapons. You can also, the co-op partner can also jump on the back, so you can both drive around together. Grappling is another feature that we added because of verticality. So it was, in addition to being able to climb ledges and vines and that kind of thing from Far Cry 3, now you can also grapple, which means you can traverse much higher, much more quickly. And it opens up suddenly the walls and the cliffs don't become impassable barriers. They actually become gameplay opportunities. So we can hide things right at the top of these mountains and kind of challenge you to figure out how you're going to get there.
Talk about, you guys have also added an elephant vehicle in the game. Go into detail about that.
Yeah, so I mean the rideable elephant was one of the first kind of key standout features that we wanted to implement from a game design side. It was because the animals were kind of something of a surprise hit in Far Cry 3. We created this ecosystem of prey and predators, and then the interaction with you as a player and the AI, and it became this kind of very cool, dynamic, chaotic system. So we wanted to improve on that in as many ways as possible, right? It was a key kind of unique feature to Far Cry, this animal ecosystem. So we figured bring in some bigger animals, some animals that are a little more powerful, and then obviously well, you can ride elephants, right? So we tried that out in the game to see how it would work, and it turned out to be a lot of fun. So we kind of we call it weaponizing animals. So you can climb on the back of an elephant, you can charge, it has its own version of a takedown. So you can pick up guys and throw them across outposts. It's a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's kind of, you don't want to piss off an elephant. If you cause it damage, suddenly it's not going to be your friend anymore.